Are you poor or rich? How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Empire Precious Metals. Thanks so much for watching. So, recently, one of my favorite sayings as it relates to the stacking way of life came across my feed, and it is this saying from Franz, and the saying is, gold is the money of kings, silver is the money of gentlemen, barter is the money of peasants, but debt is the money of slaves. Very powerful saying, especially within the stacking community. And I posted this on Instagram. It got a lot of activity, a lot of shares, a lot of views, a lot of likes. And it prompted me to kind of look at, the three different things that all of us stackers kind of look at when it comes to, accumulating wealth. And that would be cash, silver, and gold. And what should you be in? What shouldn't you be in? Obviously, this is going to be different for everybody. Everybody has a different life circumstance, and you got to figure out as to where you are best suited to be putting the majority of your money. But I will say what I am doing with my money and let you know as to what it is that I am stacking. When it comes to this, and we'll get to the money of kings in a little bit. When it comes to, first of all, debt, high interest credit card debt, medical bills, things like that, you really need to focus on paying off your credit card balances before anything else. Forget all of this stuff. If you've got any sort of debt, it's costing you more money to have that debt than you are going to be making off of holding on to this money. So get rid of the credit card debt. I think all of us can agree about that. Debt is the money of slaves. You're going to continually be working to pay off that debt until it is gone. So debt's a big no-no. When it comes to barter, okay, barter being the money of peasants. If you do not have money to you do not have money to pay for your, services and products, etc., then obviously you could do trade, etc. But really, when it comes to this type of stuff here, these promissory notes, right? A lot of people say that cash is trash and that it's worthless. I disagree. I mean, there is value to the United States dollar, although who knows how much longer we'll have the value that it has today. I mean, when we're looking at the prices of silver and gold, a lot of people will agree that it's not necessarily that the gold is getting more expensive, but it's that the dollar is continually getting weaker. So let's just kind of look at the cash. For me, personally, I'm going to let you guys know I have enough cash set aside in case of emergency. A lot of people do not have emergency funds. You want to essentially have an emergency fund. I know that some self-help gurus like Dave Ramsey or whatever, they say you want to have at least $1,000 in case of like an emergency. I personally think that $1,000 is nowhere near enough money in case of an emergency, but rule of thumb is you want to have 3 to 6 months of living expenses in cash if at all possible. When it comes to these two, let's get rid of the dollar now. When it comes to these two, okay, silver's the money of gentlemen, gold is the money of kings. I couldn't agree more when it comes to the two different types of metal. When I started stacking, I was much heavier in stacking silver than I was gold. I did have some gold, but it was nowhere near what I have accumulated today. But I was always buying silver, stacking it because it was cheap. It was fun. There was a lot of collectible pieces that you could buy at a relatively cheap price. There was so many different sizes available and different types. You've got the numismatic stuff. You've got, the constitutional silver. You've got dimes, quarters, half dollars, dollar coins, bars up to kilo size. I mean, the range of the silver items, all these things up here is enormous. But because at the time that I was stacking a lot of silver, I just was hesitant to buy more gold just because of the cost. There was like that barrier to entry. And I feel like silver essentially is like the gateway drug to the gold. It kind of gets you into that stacking routine. And then you start seeing other stackers, especially on YouTube and on social media, and they're posting all the different gold coins that they have. And then once you start buying your first gold pieces, you get taken over by the bug and then you start stacking gold. Now, I do know a lot of YouTubers and content creators, and a lot of you watching this video, you stack both. And that's totally fine. Me personally, I don't really stack silver. I'll buy some pieces for the collectability of it because I like to have them on display because they are low mintage. There's a collector's market for these items. But when it comes to stacking things like silver eagles and rounds and bars, I don't bother with that as much. I do have some, but I really don't have a lot of silver. To me, it was too cumbersome, takes up too much space. And honestly, I think anybody would say that they would much rather have gold than silver in their stack. I know personally, if somebody were to come to me and offer me, either 90 ounces of silver or 1 ounce of gold, I would take the gold every single time. Also, gold has continually broken its all-time high records. Gold is on an absolute bull run. Silver is now creeping up, but silver's got quite a bit in order to reach its all-time highs. Silver hit $48 back in, I believe, 2011. And right now we are sitting at $34 and change. So there's still room for growth for the silver, the metal. But when it comes to gold, gold is the money of kings. That is the reason why you have a lot of nations and their central bank systems stacking and hoarding gold. You see news reports about this country buys X billion dollars of gold. Recent headlines, Trump was going to go and audit Fort Knox just to see how much gold we've got stored. So gold is something that's always been treasured and coveted for thousands and thousands of years. And I believe that it will continue to be the choice for most people as to where they're putting their wealth. Curious as to which of the two metals do you stack more of? Are you doing everything that you can to get out of your high interest credit card debt? And when it comes to your emergency funds, how much cash are you hanging on to? Because as we all know, right, you're much better off holding silver and gold just because of the strength and performance of the two metals than you are just sitting on cash. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what of these two metals do you prefer, and I'll see you guys in the next one.